I was told not to do this, but I did it anyway. And I'm going to tell you why. So, you're on my journey, working. Well, this is behind the scenes of everything that I'm doing to rebuild my business after I shut it down, right? So, I managed to get the clarity over who it was that I was helping, what it was that I was going to offer, taking into account the capacity and everything that I have to be able to implement what and deliver everything and what have you. So, and what happened was I really wanted to get my business moving forward a little bit. I wanted to make some progress. I wanted to feel like I was making progress. So I was trying to come up with a lead magnet, and I came up with this masterclass, webinar, whatever you want to call it, right? That kind of thing. And it was really, really good. And I just wanted to see how it went, to be honest. Whether it could be used, whether it couldn't. But I was advised not to use that, and I was advised not to launch that yet or try and put one on yet. And the reason being the reason I was told not to do that was because my audience was is quite small. I haven't done a lot of audience building work yet. It's not that no one is there at all, because obviously this is kind of like a business that I have reprieved. It's not it is from scratch, but it's not completely from scratch, because there will be people in my audience that are an absolute perfect fit. So sorry, my nose is getting a bit itchy because I am outside, do have hay fever, but you can't not sit in the sun. So yeah, so I got this webinar, and I wanted to run it, and I ran it. Why did I run it anyway when I was told not to? Because my audience wasn't big enough. Because I wanted things to move forward, because I was okay. This is the big thing. If you're going to do something like that, this is the big thing, that you have to be okay with this being a test. This to me was not it wasn't set in stone. It wasn't the be all and end all. This wasn't a definitive, this is what's going to be my masterclass, this is what's going to be the title of it, this is how it's going to run, whatever. This was a test. Let's see how it works. If it works well, then we can slot it in. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. We tweak it and we try again. But I did have a bit of a wobble in the middle of it because I got my mind sort of set on this, and then I was told after I'd started putting it together not to do it. And one of the other reasons, sorry, that I did that was because it was simple, because it was easy. I didn't set up anything flashy. What I set up was the most simple setup you have ever seen. I didn't even really have a landing page. I just had like the Zoom registration page. Yes, I put my own description on it and what have you, but it wasn't anything flashy. There was no automation behind it. Absolutely nothing. I literally knocked it together in about 20 minutes, which isn't the advice I give to anybody else. But I'm testing. So I don't want to spend hours upon end setting things up to then not use them, because that's doing two things. It's delaying getting it out, and just like taking up all my time when I could be doing other things. So I didn't promote. I'm gonna because I got thrown with being told not to put it out there as well. I didn't promote it as much as I should have, because I was having a bit of a wobble. But I did put it out. I sorted myself out after a bit, but it wasn't a very big run up after that. So I was pleased with the sign-ups that I got, from the amount of promotion that I did, from You know, from the, I haven't been warm in my audience, pretty cold audience really. Even if they are ideal clients, they are quite cold. So I was quite pleased with the amount of sign-ups that I got, even though it was a small number. And but I also know, what I know from that, what I learned from this was that I got sign-ups. So and I looked. Oh, sorry, that was me knocking my camera now. So I got sign-ups. That's a good sign. I didn't just look at the number of sign-ups that I got. I looked at the people that actually signed up to it, and everyone that signed up was an ideal client. I think there was one person that I wasn't sure of what they did, but they were my ideal clients, so they were spot on. So what that tells me is that my ideal client wants this webinar, this masterclass. My ideal client liked the name, the messaging, what I said about it. It related enough for them to sign up. Then the attendance of the masterclass was really, really good. And yeah, and the content, I think the content was engaged with, which is brilliant. And I had somebody, I did do a small sale of my community. It wasn't a high ticket. It was to come into the community. It is a paid community, by the way. But yeah, I had somebody on the call like, I'm all in. How do I get in? I couldn't get in fast enough. So that was absolutely brilliant as a result. So, all of this tells me that it's on the right track. The connection is there all the way through. There isn't a disconnect between what it is that I'm saying on the front end and what I'm saying in the middle, and how it is that we're actually getting people through. So what I need to do now is, I wouldn't just run that again straight away, and I won't just run that again. What I'm going to do now is I have a lead magnet built now. It's a little essentially it's a quiz to find where you're leaking your revenue. That's put together now, so I'm going to put that out, and I'm going to I'm going to promote that and start building my audience. So then I will run this masterclass again. I will get a date in the diary that suits, because it is summer holidays starting. Their kids are breaking up in about 2 weeks. And then I've got 6 weeks of them being at home. So I do plan to carry on working through some of it. We are going away for some of it. So, there's a lot of, there's juggling to do around stuff. And if I do sell places in my community, I want to be there to welcome them in and onboard them and what have you. Because currently I haven't automated anything right now. And I'll tell you why. And it was because the reason that I mentioned before, because I don't want to spend time setting all this up and just creating in the background when I don't know if it's the right thing. What I want to do is, if I do this manually, when it is small numbers, when it is a manageable amount for me to do, for me to physically cope with by myself, that's fine. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it manually. And then when I know that, okay, this is exactly what I want to happen, this is, you know, I've had some feedback from people, we've tweaked a few things, then I'll set up the automation one. It's too much for me, probably a little bit before then, to be honest, just to make things a little bit easier. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on audience building, putting out my lead magnet, building that up, and then doing my webinar again, to open doors to my community. So yes, that's me. That's what's happened. That's everything that I did was done with intention and the recognition that it was, like, you know, it wasn't about to bring loads of sales in, and that was okay, because that wasn't essentially the purpose. The purpose was to test, because this is early days. I think there is a stage that gets forgotten about quite a bit, to be honest, and you know, people beat themselves up because they think that their launches are rubbish, but actually we have to test things. We have to test things before we are going to see big results from them. So yeah, so that's what I did, and why I did it, and why I went against all the advice. So I'll do another video when yeah, I've made a bit more progress. See you soon.